People deluded, I'm back again. To my long-term supporters, appreciative of all the support, welcome back. If you're new here, you know what you need to do in terms of hitting the subscription and like buttons. Now, where Arsenal's transfer news is concerned, like every football club, things are beginning to ramp up, just like our pre-season stuff. Now, at the time of making this video, we'll kick off the first of 3 games in our American pre-season tour, people. We've got Manchester United, Liverpool and Bournemouth. We kick off against Bournemouth. I'll be live for the 3:30 a.m. kickoff UK time from 3 a.m. people. Now, in relation to our transfer news, apparently we're sending scouts to watch Gyokeres. I'd imagine we've scouted him heavily already, and what more do we need to know? But that's what reports are saying. You know, in terms of incomings and outgoings, Calafiori and Kiwior's futures are subject to speculation. And if you go on media reports, Mikel Moreno is close to signing for Arsenal. Now, being close and actually signing are very different things, as you guys know. We have seen reports that Arsenal targeted a left-sided, a left-back, apologies. We seem to get that over the line with Calafiori. Obviously, he's got versatility, and rumours are saying we're switching our attention to midfield. Now, I would like to know you lot's thoughts as well. Where midfield is concerned, it is a bit of a difficult one because it all depends on where we see Declan Rice, which I'd be inclined to believe it's to remain as a left 8, really. So you're probably looking at a 6. In an ideal world, we've got Declan Rice, you can play as a 6 and an 8, another one you can play as a 6 and an 8, and maybe just another midfielder. So we have 3 players for like 2 positions. I would love 4 midfielders, but you'd probably have to wait for next year for when probably Thomas Partey and Jorginho are not at the club anymore. Big them up because they're quality players. Now, if you give me 30 seconds to share my screen, people, and again, don't feel any sort of way about getting the creative juices flowing and commenting. We can get straight into it now. Again, people, again, this article is spoken about Calafiori. I'm sure you'll all agree, and we just want to see the man wearing the new Arsenal shirt at this moment. But nonetheless, Arsenal have reached a final agreement to sign Bologna defender Riccardo Calafiori for 50 million euros. The Italy international signed a contract until 2029, while he will earn a base salary of 3.5 million per year, according to Nicolo Schreier. Now, you'd imagine a 22-year-old, if he realizes his potential and develops, as you've seen with Odegaard, Benjamin White, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Tomiyasu, many a player really. Even I know people don't hear it, but Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson, you can earn a better deal. But considering the fact that he's 22, he's seen as, you know, I don't want to exaggerate, but a generational kind of talent defensively for Italy. Again, he'll have a long way to go before he's ever mentioned with the Maldinis, the Cannavaros, you know, the Nestas, the who else is there? Bonucci, Chiellini, etc. But considering that hype, considering what he did at Bologna and helped them get Champions League football, and obviously the Euros, I'm not going to over-exaggerate, but I think 50 million euros, which is what, 40-odd million pounds, or the latter ends of the 40 million pounds, and his wage salary isn't going to break the bank. I think Arsenal have done well, really and truly, in that regard. Bologna allegedly will have a 10% sell-on clause, which is all right, and we're seeing Roma, Basel, and Bologna all fighting as to who is owed what as in relation to the fallout of this. And it'll be interesting for Calafiori because he obviously can play as a centre half, you know. So again, there's competition for places. If you're Calafiori, Timber, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, indirectly Benjamin White, Timber, if I haven't said that, there's a free-for-all, really. Not a free-for-all, but it's a good fight in terms of competition. And I think, interestingly, with Calafiori, you look at, he spent a season at Bologna, a season at Basel. In a long time, this is the first time at Arsenal where he's going to spend seasons and have some longevity. So big him up. Hummels has actually been linked with Real Madrid and Bologna. Kiwior, who has been linked with Inter, Juventus, AC, and many other clubs, people, has also been linked with Bologna, allegedly turned that move down. Now, Gyokeres, I don't think we're going to sign him. I don't think Arsenal, I wouldn't say we're not looking for a striker, but it seemed like Sesko ticked the boxes in that he's young, he's adaptable, he can be a rotational player as well as a starter. He didn't break the bank. Ultimately, he was a market opportunity. I think Gyokeres is a quality player, but do we really see Arsenal paying through the nose? I think Gyokeres is a player we like, but I don't think in the same way we've gone for Calafiori, Declan Rice, and many others, I don't think he 100% convinces everybody in charge of making decisions at this football club. Maybe 80 to 90, you know, he's played in England before. He's obviously scoring a bunch of goals at Sporting. His general play, his playmaking, making, obviously his goal scoring, his versatility in terms of how he plays on the pitch and his link up play, he would fit our system like a glove. He works his socks off, the Swedish international. And where the Swedish strikers are concerned, people, it'd be nice to get Gyokeres, it'd be even nicer to get Isaac. But as I say, the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. Nonetheless, Arsenal remain interested in sporting forward Victor Gyokeres and want to see him in action during pre-season before making a move, according to Portuguese outlet Correia de Manhã. Now, I don't agree with that really, because again, if we genuinely wanted to sign this guy, like you've obviously, I'm sure you could speak to people. If we didn't have our own opinions on his time at Coventry and any other clubs, we had to have been watching him heavily throughout the season in Portugal. What is pre-season really and truly? Maybe we want to have some final confirmations. Who knows, people? But yeah, apparently Arsenal reportedly monitors Gyokeres' form in pre-season before deciding whether to lodge a summer bid. I think there's factors away from that would make Gyokeres more feasible for Arsenal. I think the first one would be outgoings. If we're able to get decent money for, I don't want him to, but Emil Smith-Rowe, Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, Aaron Ramsdale, Kiwior, on top of the players that are in the process of departing / have departed already. Maybe we're given some encouragement by Gyokeres' camp or by Sporting in that there's a deal to be done that doesn't break the bank, or maybe there's an additional cash injection from the Cronkies, because we still need to sign a central midfielder. We're obviously getting the Calafiori deal done. Ironically, we've probably spent 70 odd million already now, because you've had to give 27 million to get David Raya's deal permanent. Obviously, Calafiori's been brought in for 50 million odd euros or 40 odd million quid. So you're getting around 60, 70 already. That's before you consider Mikel Moreno, where you're seeing everything from 20 to 30 million euros. Again, the 100 odd million region is just probably about right, and been the case in the last few years. In fact, we would have spent more last year with Declan Rice and Kai Havertz combined, and another year of Champions League football on top of outgoings could make something happen. But I don't know our budget. Is it feasible? I don't know, because what would Sporting want for Gyokeres? He's had a top season, top season, being linked with a bunch of clubs. Again, to us normal football fans, the striker market isn't flushed with strikers that are proven goal scorers or have that pedigree. I think there's a bunch of strikers that can fit the system in terms of dropping deep, link up play, all of that. But doing that and being a cold-hearted, cerebral killer in front of goal, it seems to be a rarity, people. Nico Williams, we'd all love him, people. It seems like Barcelona are the front runners. Romano has confirmed such and has said he is set to give his final approval to Barcelona this season. Said Barca are increasingly confident to get the green light from Nico Williams. Man United want Martin Zubamendi, who's got a 60 million release clause. I mean, if they go back in, surely we could go back in, really and truly. And apparently Chelsea are about to sign Ajax goalkeeper Danat Ramaj. I can't pronounce his name, but I only mention him of relevance because he was linked with Arsenal. Him, Garcia, Dan Bentley, they've been the kind of goalies that are going to be the second or third choice keepers, assuming Aaron Ramsdale leaves. I'm not sure we'll sign another keeper until there's a resolution on Aaron Ramsdale's future. So yeah, we've gone over that, people. Were to assess Gyokeres on Saturday. I guess that's when, Sporting are playing. He then said, he has previously said, I love being at Sporting. We'll see what happens. I can't promise anything. I'm very happy here at Sporting. I'm under contract, but things in football always happening fast. We need to adapt. Fair play to you, people. In relation to one striker who's already at the club, Eddie Nketiah has been linked with a bunch of Premier League teams and also aggressively linked with Marseille. 1 minute they say permanent, then it's a loan with a buy option, then it's an obligation. I don't know. For him, Marseille's a massive club. You'd be playing in the top 5 league. You'd have a significant higher status in their squad than you have at Arsenal. And I know Roberto De Zerbi isn't Mikel Arteta. I'm obviously going to gas Arteta, but De Zerbi's a great manager to learn from. And the key thing is regular football. Marseille are locked in talks with Arsenal over the signing of Eddie Nketiah, but the Liga giants expect a late entry into the race from rival suitors, according to CBS Sports, which is great for us. The more people that want to buy Eddie, drive up the price. Arsenal understood to favour an outright sell of Eddie, who has not started a competitive game for them so far in 2024, but negotiations with Marseille have also included discussions of a possible loan move for the 25-year-old forward. And I mean, at 25, it's now time to increase your stature in football. Whether such a deal would include an obligation or an option to buy the striker is likely to be a significant point of tension between the clubs. Eddie Nketiah allegedly is ready to depart the club, people. He's believed to be open to a move to France's south coast. Again, De Zerbi has signed a couple of players. Højbjerg's come in, the man who used to play for Man United, whose name we do not say on this platform because we don't condone it, has also signed for them, people. Aubameyang's left. Ironically, he could be some sort of replacement. Apparently, per sources, the French side expect rival bidders for the services of the England international, who over the past 4 seasons averages more than a half non-penalty expected goal per 90 of Premier League football. Allegedly, West Ham and Crystal Palace are long-term admirers of him. He's one of a number of academy grads expected to depart. As we know, there's futures of Reece Nelson and Smith Rowe, and also young Charlie Patton, who hasn't traveled, apologies, to America, are subject to speculation. So we'll have to watch that. And Nketiah has actually been speaking and encouraged the youngsters that have made the trip to America to seize their potential opportunity. As you know, 12 players have traveled. Obviously, he's spoken about his first initial experiences of preseason. I'd imagine, what it's like seeing, what we've gone to Asia, we've gone to America, seeing fans of in a different kind of light, people. So yeah, I won't bother reading that out to you. And again, you're contracted at the club for all the interest from all these Premier League clubs, or for half the players that have been linked with moves away. If there's no offers made or accepted, then you just have to continue your job like nothing has happened. We've gone over Calafiori. Apparently, we've reached an agreement. It's now a case of the final steps. At this point, until we see he's had a medical, then I think all the news is just rehearsed and revised stuff. So yeah, that seems to be the Calafiori stuff. You would have seen Arsenal announce their scholarship intake for the upcoming season. Chido Obi Martin is not among them, people. We've confirmed he's left the club and is leaving as a free agent. I forgot his name, but we've lost that very talented goalkeeper as well as Chido Obi Martin. Apparently, he'll decide his next club soon after visiting English and German clubs. Go do your thing, man. Whatever's best for your development. Arsenal are interested in Nico Williams and Real Sociedad midfielder Mikel Moreno, but face competition from Barcelona for both players. I'd imagine Barcelona, who are probably treading very carefully with their budget. If anything, they want to secure the services of probably Dani Almo and Nico Williams. If certain things fall into place, then Mikel Moreno. So that could be something we could potentially take advantage of, people. It does seem like Paris Saint-Germain are moving closer to signing Osimhen, so that's forget about that. We all know the 28-year-old Moreno is at Sociedad. He's contracted until 2025. He can operate as a 6 and an 8, and allegedly he is Mikel Arteta's top target. At 28, there's a bunch of experience. Arsenal are best placed to sign Moreno now, despite Atletico and Barca testing the waters of a deal. Chelsea have tentatively been linked. Sociedad have made one final push and offered a new deal which fulfills what the player wants and would put him amongst the top earners at the club. However, Moreno, who has said he is happy at Sociedad, is still undecided on what his next step should be. The ball is now in the player's court, says local media in Spain. Everything points to Moreno becoming an Arsenal player. Barcelona can only sign him if Frankie de Jong leaves. I'd love us to sign Frankie de Jong, even though I think he'd be the answer because he's a quality player, but I don't think he'd be the answer, but that's for another day. Purple Panel and all these ITKs who have been throwing a lot of shade at each other, really and truly, throughout the transfer window, has said we've made contact with Mikel Moreno and are waiting for a green light and an agreement on personal terms. The club is heavily prepared to pursue the signing of Moreno upon reaching an agreement of personal terms. In relation to Jacob Kiwior, Arsenal have not received any approach from Inter for Kiwior, nothing agreed even on the player side. Kiwior remains available in the market, but Arsenal now want a permanent move or a loan with a mandatory clause. He could leave as Calafiori is joining. So based on that, that seems like we're not really interested if you go out on loan, show your quality, and then maybe you can come back and add to our defensive ranks. It's a case of, you know what, Kiwior, we might not necessarily want to sell you, but we're bringing in Calafiori now. Obviously, there's a market for Kiwior. He's consistently linked with a bunch of Italian clubs, although nobody has made an offer, whether that is Juventus, AC, Bologna, or Napoli, or anyone who's been linked with him. So that's something for him to consider in that regards, people. And we all know Kiwior and Zinchenko, speculation until the market closes is going to remain over their futures, people. Ivan Toney is prepared to run down his Brentford contract if he does not land a big move this summer, people. Apparently, Arsenal considered a move for Ivan Toney, but look unlikely to follow up their interest. That's according to TalkSport's Alex Crook. Apparently, Arsenal could consider letting Ramsdale leave on loan if they do not find a permanent buyer. Apparently, TalkSport have said they understand he's not close to joining any club. I mean, he's on holiday, isn't he? Arsenal's valuation of £35 million and player wages of over 100k a week proven to be barriers to any deal. I'm not permanent deal. I'm not being funny, but we should be making at least 40 odd million quid on him. You know, Ramsdale, again, people will say he's not playing. That's just because Raya's come in. He is PFA team of the year. Obviously, there was times he looked like he might really fight Pickford for that number one. Again, considering what people say about him when he leaves this club versus when he joined, there's a lot of progress. He's still quite young for a goalie, and I do think he'll go somewhere and show his quality. So I think we're lowballing ourselves, if I'm completely honest with you in that regards. You all know I'm a big fan of Doué of Rennes, people. He could be about to join PSG. PSG apparently sending a new proposal, people, and Bayern Munich have already done such as well. Xavi Simons seems like he could be going to Leipzig. I mean, it's got no relevance to us, but some of you would like him. If you're in America, allegedly, people, there's nearly 20,000 tickets still available for our friendly against Manchester United. As you know, we face Bournemouth, Manchester United, and Liverpool before we come back to England, play in the Emirates Cup, and then the Premier League is back, people. So we'll have to see what's going on there. Speaking of that, people, at the time of making this video, obviously we're playing our first game in America. I will be doing a watch along. So for my UK folk, if you are up, join me. For those of you in America, it's a bit of karma, because now us UK-based fans know what it feels like to wake up and watch football at stupid o'clock. And speaking of you lot, people, you lot support across my videos are always welcome, people. I appreciate you lot tuned in. Now, Versus and Chivas Regal have linked up to kind of submit nominations for Trailblazers shaping this future of football. Vote for the guy, people, because they want content creators. Vote for the guy. Let's stop being underrated. It takes 2 minutes of your time. I'll put this in the description for when this video comes out. So yeah, in relation to you know, Arsenal primarily, let me know your thoughts in relation to our game against Bournemouth and all the transfer news. Personally, I would love to see Gabriel Jesus score an early prediction, 15 league goals for Gabriel Jesus. Hold me accountable if he doesn't do it. Would love to see Smith Rowe and Martinelli as well as Timber, people, and just generally I want to see Arsenal. It'd be nice for the young boys to get some minutes as well. But on that note, people, you lot stay safe, stay blessed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Even hit the like button on the watch along if you're not going to join me, people. We need to get the YouTube algorithm in motion. But on that, you lot stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
Like